You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
Well, it's your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, we're talking indie comics with a wonderful return guest, a friend of the Crusaders. He is a kick-ass independent comic writer, creator. He is a boss on the scene with another fire project on the scene. He gave me the pleasure of reading his last project, Rise #1. Have you not heard of Rise? How dare you? Because right now, the project #2 is live, baby. I mean, with 28 days to go. And it's already at halfway over of its goal. But we're going to make it happen with all that time. I'm going to introduce this future legend over here in the making, man. This superstar in the indie circuit, the one, the only, the friend of the Crusaders, Mr. Trevor Fernandes-Lenkiewicz. Rapper, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. It's great to be here, man. I miss your energy, man. It's infectious, and it's a privilege to be joining you on the Crusaders podcast.
Well, thank you for coming through, like always, and wanting to come on and bullshit with me, you know, because I know my energy sometimes too much for some people. Like, oh my God, I can't take the power.
Never too much, man. People like me, we need that to keep ourselves going, brother. So we appreciate you.
Well, again, just thank you. Again, let me say that earlier, flowers, kiddo, because, yo, you keep going and going. So as a fan to a creator, like, yo, you keep rocking. And thank you for allowing me the honor of reading issue 1 of this project. We're going to get into it. So, you know, your opening even, you know, kind of made me feel, like, oh, shit, all right. Yeah. And then I really took a different perspective when I read it. And I started seeing a lot of hints. So, shit. This is very fucking cool, bro. All right, so let's get into it. You know, yeah, I don't care. I cursed, and I don't care. Don't. That's how you need to. I don't care. I'm on Rumble anyway. That made me happy. All right, so talk about a bit from your last project and that journey and lessons you learned there that you're applying to this, your first ever superhero project.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, before Rise, we had Minutes to Midnight, The Hour Between Life and Death, which was a collection of 4 genre short stories loosely themed around the theme of perspective, this idea that on the precipice of a new day, what you choose to take with you from one day into the next is life or death. And so I got to work with a lot of incredibly talented artists from all around the world to tell 4 very different types of stories. And what's great is a lot of those collaborators actually ended up making their way on to Rise. And before that, I had Area 51 Helix Project, which was this 6-issue sci-fi thriller kind of leaning into themes of identity and loss. So I've really been all over the place over these 3 crazy years of making comics. But at the core,
look at it, baby steps, and look at these titles he just dropped. Oh my gosh! All right.
It's been a real journey, and you know, at the core of all these stories, though, what's most important are telling character-driven narratives, stuff that is about people and real human emotions, real human experiences, filtered through the fiction. And that's how I've always kind of made the decisions as to what genre of story I want to make something in order to really put it out in its purest form. And so, you know, when it came to doing Rise, it's funny because I said for years I did not want to do indie superheroes. I think
it's really you said that even in my previous time we spoke once.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to really make it stick because, you know, part of the reason why we love these capes and these cape books is because you have this history and this iconicity, and it's hard to tell a story in the shadow of that and to make it feel unique and original. But the reality was when I realized that the story I wanted to tell was about masculinity and the male ego and this idea of being enough as a man, the only story I felt like I could do that through was through this lens of the quote unquote Superman. Especially in this case where the lead character's powers correlate with the amount of dopamine in his system. So he has to feel good to do good. And it felt right, you know? And I think the fact that it did kind of turn into a little bit of a zag from what I had initially intended in terms of like not wanting to do superheroes means that I think we picked the right genre for this story, the right filter to kind of examine this through. And I really think that this team that we've put together for this book is doing it in the biggest and most like viable way possible. And what's great was a lot of my creative team were people that I got to work with in Minutes to Midnight. So the last story in that collection is called The Bear Market Businessman, and the interior artist Ryan Best is the interior artist for Rise, and the letterer of that story is the letterer for Rise. And even the one of the cover artists, Steph, she drew the first story in Minutes to Midnight. So what's great is for the first time in my career, I get to work with people that I've had some level of familiarity from another project.
Nice.
And I think that together we're making a really beautiful book.
Oh, it definitely is. Let me touch upon this because it touched me a bit. It got me thinking, especially as I said, it took me in a different way to look at the book as I read it. But openly we're talking about not having a prominent male figure as a young man in your life. Can you talk a bit about that, if you would like?
For sure, yeah. So this book really stems from this idea that I didn't really grow up with a particularly nurturing father who was there to teach me how to square up with life and how to be a good man. And I felt like, in tandem with that, I spent my early 20s locked up in the pandemic. And I feel like that's that period of your life where you kind of get to make the mistakes that are not so consequential, but you're allowed to learn from. And I feel like I lost that opportunity as well. And when I walked out of the pandemic, I was running a comic book company. I was creating stories and also, responsible for the livelihood of dozens of artists every year, making sure like I can uphold my end of the bargain and make sure that they can, put food on their table and pay their bills. That's a lot of responsibility for someone who, went to bed one morning at the ripe old age of 22 and woke up 25 because of that pandemic. And so, I really felt like I needed to express that and sort of the ways in which I feel like I have been unsteadied by, one, my lack of male guidance in my life, but two, that lack of ability to make mistakes because now I'm on a bigger stage and I have more responsibility. And that's sort of where Rise steps off. It's very much like this is not the Clark Kent, sort of archetypal character. This John Prufrock guy is young and he's put into a situation where he has to cope with more responsibility than anyone should probably ever have. And we're sort of exploring those themes that I feel like I've still yet to really make way of myself.
Oh yeah, man. Me as a former 25-year veteran, being married, but about 30 years with the same person, I saw things, in the story you were telling and his development with his lady friend, if you will, and and in the comment she made and how he took that comment, but then also while in a situation, remember the moment, and that really is a man. Like even if you get pissed off, like the reasons why you kind of do things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is being a man, you know what I mean? So I think he represented that really well. Let me bring this book to the stage right here. And I mean, I bring this stuff up too because it is Men's Mental Health Month, as well, folks. So don't forget that. And, and men need this. And I love that he created a book like this. I really dug. So I really can't wait to read issue 2 to see what's really going to be popping off here now that, things have developed quite a tad. From issue 1. So before we get started over here, folks, look at that. He only needs 8 racks. 8,000. We're at 4,411. Congrats to being over half. And salute to 118 backers. Wow, yo, that's amazing. Wonderful. Thank you guys for supporting Indie. And look at this. All of that with still 28 days to go, man. Talk about rising. This shit took off, baby. I love it. So it does have a video, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this baby, real quick, and then we're gonna continue the conversation about Rise and see some of the art and all these dope covers and how you could get involved. All right, check this out, mi gente.
Mind if I sit here?
That's fine.
John.
Issa.
2 of whatever she's having, please. I've got to go.
I guess you have to save the world or something.
That art is so gorgeous. Let me tell you. Your team definitely did hell of a job. Coloring, look at that. Wepa.
I don't deserve this power.
Man, oh man, oh man. Diablo, hombre, what is going on here? What a hell of a great looking project. I mean, look at it. Let's start getting into it. I saw some dope ass covers. This is let me see, a limited comic series, 40 page issue one, all right, and 34 pages of issue two. I mean, look at girthy, folks. You know what I mean? That's a cool one right there, all right? Come on now. You know what I'm talking about. Talk about this. Let's talk about these covers, man. This is fire. And what's going on here?
Yeah, so what's cool is all the A covers by our interior artist Ryan Best. He also colored his own covers.
Of course.
They're all going to connect. So if you notice, there's a sort of design element consistent between that first the A cover for issue one and the A cover for issue two. So once you have them all, they're all sort of going to outline John's spiritual and emotional journey throughout the course of the story as he interacts with sort of different artifacts of quote unquote masculinity and what they mean. So that's going to be really cool. The B cover there is by Steph C, who did the B cover for issue one. And what's great is I think they both of her covers very much begin to allow the readers to wrestle with some of this character's flaws and some of the conflict that will begin to be generated by the behaviors that are gratified by his power set, right? This idea that, you know, the release of dopamine in his body effectively turns him into an American god. What type of behaviors are going to be gratified by, you know, invincibility, super strength, super speed? And so this, we get to kind of take a horror bend on this cover, which I think is a beautiful sort of mirror of the euphoric and rapturing of Steph's cover for the first issue. So they're going to be two great sort of items in anyone's collection.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely some wall porn right there, though, too. Yeah, I love this. This shit just pops, yo.
So we were so fortunate to be joined by Vincenzo Riccardi, who is absolutely killing the cover game. He's been doing stuff for Marvel Sideshow, for Boom, a bunch of variants for Boom, for Image Skybound. He is just, I think, one of the most unique cover artists and identifiable style, and obviously is a great storyteller in his own right. For me, the storytelling always begins with the cover image, and that's exactly what he set out to do, and he did it with a beautiful composition, and of course, like an amazingly executed color palette. So yeah, it's just such a blessing.
It is, and I mean, I just love the detail because, you know, the artistry within the cape, you know, as it flows and what the story it's telling. Like, you know, this cover says a lot, yo. Beautiful, beautiful. Ooh, I mean, the not so secret variant.
Yeah. So our incredibly talented interior artist Ryan Best, you know, he loves this sort of Art Nouveau aesthetic, and I've known that about him pretty much since I met him 2 years ago. And when it came time to pick another cover, I was like, well, first of all, he's an incredibly talented artist, and being the interior artist, I want to make sure that we're featuring him at the highest level possible. And so I just said, Ryan, I want to do a wraparound cover for the sort of D variant. Go nuts. And that's exactly what he did, and just delivered this absolutely stunning piece, which I think arguably is like a career-defining level cover from Ryan.
This is crazy. I mean, once, you know, even bigger publishers see this, it's a wrap, son.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, he's been so great. We premiered the first issue of Rise at Heroes Con this past weekend in Charlotte, and as a little thank you, I bought Ryan a brand new convention banner that features this artwork, just so he has something to show off. But Yeah, he absolutely
What
took
a
my
boss!
breath away.
What a boss right there! Shit, that's the way you do it. Ooh, oof.
So this is our stretch goal cover by Ryan Shoemate. If the campaign hits 10K, we'll be unlocking this one, and it very much sort of plays with the themes of Greek mythology, with the sort of conflict between Hercules and Zeus, and this idea of Zeus's battle with the bull in the city square as a representation of John wrestling with his masculinity, but also capturing the power of the quote unquote sort of masculine fatherly lightning. And he just Ryan Shoemate, man, is an incredibly talented artist, is able to generate these iconic images and still really capture the essence of the storytelling. I mean, he just created this beautiful dreamlike sequence of a cover.
So, and let's talk about the stretch goals. So you got it said the Ryan Shoemate variant, right? It's unlocked. The free rice sticker, you know, upgrade wraparound cover with spot gloss. Hey, back of goals. I mean, and the story. Let's get into those interior pages. I mean, look at this panel work, baby. Look how beautiful this is. And you know, there's some issue on which is very fun.
Thank
This
you.
scene is hysterical right here, though. I mean, yeah, what, would you though do that? I mean, see, Trev, because you know, I guess you know, there may be a bit of yourself in there. So you're telling me that if you had that speed power and you wanted to mac on a young lady, that's what you would do to the homie next to her?
To be fair, I would have been polite about it, but the guy did tell John to fuck off. So you know, you got to do what you got to do. What's cool too is this page actually features. We drew in 2 backers from issue 1. So one of the cool perks that we have of these campaigns is that you can actually be immortalized in the book. So Paul Michaels or Paul Michel, forgive me, I've never actually like heard his name out loud, is actually drawn in as the guy who John whisks away.
Okay.
In order to sit next to Issa. So, you know, we also, when we get to do that, we try to put people in some kind of iconic moments.
Oh, that's funny. Great moment, you know, and there we go. You know, this isn't like you said, your typical Supermanish story here. You know, talking about dopamine, I'm pretty sure you're gonna feel great after that. You know what I mean? Well, power, I mean, shit, look at that. Just busted right off. Yo, me, no pun intended. Diablo. Oh, was in the bathroom too? The heck? Diablo, homie.
You know, passion is passion, I guess.
But I dig it. You know, what was the inspiration for the look? You know, was this something you had to say in, you know, with your artist in the conversation? How did that design work?
Yeah, so I mean, I gave Ryan a kind of basic sketch with some basic color blocking, but you know, he really took it to the next level and tightened it and made it something I think really identifiable. I had this idea. I really like this. The logo is kind of a phallic logo. I mean, it is, for all intents and purposes, a penis. And the name of the book is pretty phallic as well, Rise. So, you know, there are a lot of little double entendres, but we wanted to make sure it was very obviously there without making it too on the nose. And ironically enough, if you go through like our original character design drafts, one of them is like wildly on the nose. But we wanted it to really, really sort of feel iconic and simple and like we didn't want to overcomplicate the suit at all. So, you know, we were kind of between doing a 2 and 3 color rotation. I knew I wanted to do white simply because, you know, it is it represents I think some really cool sort of metaphorical elements like purity and regality. The red, you know, just felt like a necessary pick apropos of our sort of homage of the Superman figure. And you know, Ryan just delivered on an iconic silhouette for this character's costume. You know, it almost, you look at it and it feels timeless. It feels like it could have been around 80 years ago, and it feels like it was designed by an artist in 2024.
Nice. And look at this spread they hit. Jeez, dude.
Yeah, so the first
2 of them finish. You want 2 of them?
Yeah, so actually if you go scroll down below slightly, there's the full image of that spread, and it's beautiful. Actually, I have a copy right here for anyone who's watching. So we brought back the idea of the fold out
Oh,
comic.
nice. Look at that. Oof. It looks so much prettier like that. Jesus Christ. See, man, seeing it like on a website, but seeing it in your hands, what a difference.
And then on the other side is another triple page spread.
Oh, dope, man, dope. And a smart way to use it. A smart way.
Yeah, and that was thanks to the backers. We got to unlock that as a perk of the book in the last campaign. For me, it's always like, how can we incentivize the ability for us to do more and make these moments feel bigger? And then the backers really came through in that first campaign and let us do that.
So what was the idea though? Because when you read the book, it's like everybody knows who he is,
Mhm.
But I mean, he's not known as anything. They know who he is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of wanted to eschew some of the tropes of the genre that we felt were just going to be distractions.
Okay.
And especially kind of make statements about the character by omitting some of those things, and also by how we use some of the sort of traps and tropes and archetypes in our own unique way. So this character, a big part about his journey is kind of exploring intimacy and his relationship with intimacy and honesty and trust. And I always felt like there was a degree of separation when your hero is behind a mask and behind a moniker and a secret identity. This character is a person, and he's trying to be a great man, not particularly a great masked vigilante, so to speak. And so I felt like it was really important for this character to not really have an ego about the I guess the unnecessary elements of being a hero. What really matters to him is that he goes out and he does the job. It doesn't matter that he has some crazy name or some weird gimmick to himself. And when we explore that even deeper in issue 2, because there's a little bit of a time skip and he's been a hero for a little while, and you begin to see sort of how he deals with some of the criticism and some of the praise of being in the public eye without that degree of separation, right? Like, because it's just him. It's not a moniker or a
No
secret
place
identity.
to hide, point the
Exactly.
finger, and that kind of sucks, But again, the burden that a man carries, right? Take the blame, just nod your head and say sure.
Right.
Whatever. Right there, man versus self. It absolutely is. What about these unique add-on options? What are we talking about there?
Yeah, so Ryan is being very generous with his time and his talent, and he's offering a couple of hand-drawn commissions. You can get them at various sizes. So if you want something big to throw up on the wall and feel like you have the extra money to spend, you can get them at 11 by 14, 11 by 17, full-bodied, and you can do that colored or inked. He also has 3-inch by like 5-inch sketch cards, so they're not really all that small, actually. They're pretty sizable, which you can, again, do in black and white or fully colored. So we've got a lot of options for anybody that wants a beautiful piece of Ryan Best art in their collection. And I think they're at a really great price considering how damn talented he is. I think he's at that point where he could be charging crazy superstar prices, but he's not, and it's affordable. And I think people should get in on that now while they can. And it goes toward supporting, I think, a really great book by a lot of really great people.
Awesome. Check that out.
And that cable piece there was actually for a backer of the last campaign. So that is a real-time example of what Ryan is delivering for these add-ons.
That is sexy as F, man. Look at that. Everybody. Love it. And of course, now in the add-on menu, your first comic series right there. That's a sick cover. Jeez, bro. This needs to be like on a video cassette type. It's what it kind of looks like. I want to rent this movie right now.
Yeah, I love that cover too. It's one of my favorite probably pieces of art of anything that's come out of my career making comics. But yeah, you can catch up on the Helix Project, all 6 issues, so you get a beginning, middle, and end. And of course, Minutes to Midnight is also going to be available in the add-on section, where you get to see the early stages of my collaboration with several people who I'm working on Rise with. Again, Steph C., who did both of the B covers, drew the first story, The Marvelous Misadventures of the Melancholy Man, and the interior artist and letterer for Rise worked on The Bear Market Businessman for me in that story. So it's cool. You kind of get to go back, look at that, and see our evolution as collaborators.
And look at gorgeous art, folks. I mean, if you don't invest in what Trevor got going, man, y'all bugging. I mean, look at this. Oh man, look at that. This reminds me of the old Clive Barker books. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
Look at this fire, yo. That team. Everybody's getting their work. They just getting that work in. That fabulous looking team. We gotta support them, folks. You get simply started for $1. You just believe in the project. You're kind. You could skip a coffee. I mean, you can't even get a coffee anymore but for $1. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So, throw in $1. Why not? Otherwise, you want to get a digital copy, it starts at $5. You want to start smelling that ink, it's coming. Where's the smelling the ink? Premier print, there you go. $12. You want to smell some ink, baby. I mean, put that and have some soft porn because, it is girthy. Trevor ain't cheap with the paper, making those fat books for you, good reading, not so that it takes you 5 minutes to read after you spend $6, for example. You know what I mean? This is a nice book where you're gonna sit down, you can actually finish a whole blunt and probably still not have finished reading the book, and that's actually
it's they're about double the size of your typical comic, so you're getting a lot of value for your money, and if you are watching this and you haven't gotten big up,
ad free, you got to throw that in there because that's what the other comic, they say, oh, we have X amount of pages. Wait,
right.
We also have some ads.
That's true. It is ad-free. The reading experience is straight through. And we've got as you're watching this, there are only a few hours left to grab some of the last remaining early bird discounts. Many of them have already sold out, but as you can see, there's a few slots to grab Steph's cover at a discount.
Let's see the limited, right? What we got? So in Steph, you got 3 left. All right, that's the pledge. Early bird, you got 5 left of C. Folks, only 5.
And I think those might be the only 2 early bird tiers left. I think the early bird for the other covers have all sold out.
And how awesome is this, folks? I've been talking about issue 1 because I was the one who had the opportunity, and so you could catch up. All right, get issue 1 and 2. That's 72 pages. 72 pages. $22. It's amazing. I mean, that's great pricing for an independent project with these. It looks again ad-free and an amazing team. You got the secret, not so secret variants because we know about it now. The Pocket Watch Press digital library, baby. I mean, awesome. Who needs a hero? Actually, Rise sounds like a good name brand for something to compete against Viagra and all the other.
What's funny? I've been spitballing the idea of doing Rise branded condoms as like a little marketing tool.
Hey, bro. Yes. You promoting safe sex? Yes. You should. Rise. Yeah, rise to the occasion, federal to protect yourselves. There you go. That's the pitch. Love it. Complete bundles on Rise for covers of 63. You can get all those gorgeous covers. If you're computers like me, that's what you need. And retailers, you can stand up 20 copies. $100. Oh, what? Bro, that is a steep discount, bro.
Super steep, man. I believe in the local comic book shop experience. I believe in putting them in a position where they can actually make their investment back and make their money back because, people like me don't exist without them. So you can grab it. You can grab these books at a steeper discount than your typical distributor, cheaper than Diamond, cheaper than Lunar, cheaper than all the major distributors. And they have a more premium product to sell to their clientele. These are well-made books on really great paper stock with way more story and no advertisements.
Yeah, man. Something you can really put in the front of your retail shops and show for you want to see something that's better than Big Two, or equates, if you like to say those words to these youngins, you know what I mean? Put them on and this is where it's at. And that's the best deal I've ever seen on this podcast since I've done it. This is the best deal I've seen for retailers. So retailers, for real, rise up to the occasion and look into this. This is fantastic. You got the series bundle. You got everything in here. Producer status. You might be oh shit, but I'm gonna be Dre if I get in that move. Love it. All right, excellent. Look at that premium copy, entire main signatures. Really meeting with the team. You could talk about the comic and only comics. It says ask questions, whatever your heart desires. Don't be pervs now. Come on, just in case. Get drawn in, executive producers. Look at it, it's wonderful. Original art pages. Oh, dope.
One left.
Originals go. Wow. Yeah, one left of 2. Hurry up, folks. Original art. Diablo. There we go. It says exclusive. Yay. Talk about this one. 10 of 10 left. All right. It says 16. Like, how many colors? How many issues again? What are we talking about here?
So yeah, so for this tier, it's for the discerning retailer who wants a beautiful exclusive cover. You get a predetermined proportion of books, but I'm very much willing to work with the shop and make sure that they get things in a quantity that they feel like they can move well. So you get several copies of issue 1, several copies of issue 2, and of course, when it comes to your retail exclusive cover, you get 200 copies of your retailer exclusive cover. Again, if they want to play around with proportions, I'm also willing to kind of shift things around, but we can also sell them whatever they feel like they need at that same going rate, at that incredibly steep discount, to make sure that they can actually move the product to their clientele in the way that they've seen fit. But you work with me and my steeple of artists. If you want to propose an artist, I'm willing to collaborate on that. But I feel like I've proven over the course of these 3 years that I work with some of the most talented people in the industry. You will get a beautiful cover that is only sold at your store, and all of the costs are included right there in that package.
Nice.
And you will have something that I think will be potentially a part of comic book history.
Yeah. And check this out. The early birds that you missed, folks. You missed these. None left. You missed 2 of these. Ooh, shame on you that missed it. But guess what? You still have a whole bunch of days to go ahead and get involved. Let's do a little refresh and see if anything's changed. We're 4411, $8,000 goal. Again, 28 days to go, folks. Come on, 44. Did something happen? Let's go. Come on. Sometimes it happens. Stop with these warnings there. What happened? Now you want to hide? There we go. Come on, folks. Don't be cheap. Many of you probably just getting off work. I get it. But it's okay. Go ahead and go on the shoulder on the highway. Pull over and just order the book, all right? Be safe, please, when you order this book. All right? This is what we got to do. So, and show love to Trevor, man. I mean, I've been showing this off. Go to his link tree. It's Pocket Watch Press on his link tree. Has links to everything and everywhere Trevor, all right? So, show that love. But the most important thing you guys got to do today is support this Kickstarter project. Okay, it's The Helix /Rise #2. So Rise #1 and 2 is superhero drama. Look it up on Kickstarter. But of course, we at Comic Crusaders make it very easy for you. The links are below, so you can click your fingers away and make sure you have your credit card out, because this is a project you definitely want to back. All right. So Trev, man, I know this is convention season. You got a couple of projects out. I'm pretty sure you want to be moving. Are you going to be making any appearances where we can meet you, get our own signed copies, and pick up maybe Rise #1 ourselves?
Absolutely. So I just got back from premiering that first issue at HeroesCon in Charlotte with my collaborator Ryan Best. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con next month. The month following, we've got a kind of a double hitter. I'll be at my local show, Terrificon, at the Mohegan Sun, with Ryan Best. He'll be coming up north to join me. But what's great is that we'll be doing a private signing at Wonderland Comics and Collectibles in Putnam, Connecticut, which will feature our guy Almega doing a little bit of media coverage on the event. So we're making a whole thing of it. We're going to have some free posters available for those who drop by. And of course, the opportunity to have your book signed by Ryan and I. And like I said, Ryan also drew one of the stories in Minutes to Midnight, so you can have him sign that as well, which is a rare opportunity. Up until this show in Charlotte, I had never, ever gotten to see my signature on one of my books with my artistic collaborator, and you get to be a part of that. You get to bring some of that home, and we sign for free, by the way. We don't believe in charging for signatures, because you've spent the time and the energy supporting our work. We think the least we can do is scribble our names on it. So I hope you guys stop by. That signing at Wonderland Comics featuring the Comic Crusaders will be on August 15th, and the following weekend, the 16th to the 18th, we will be at Terrificon. Outside of that, in September, I'll be at Baltimore Comic-Con, again with Ryan Best. October, New York Comic-Con and Memphis Comic Expo. November, I'll be at Thought Bubble in the UK in Harrogate, doing the illustrious festival in the north of England. And
you could meet Johnny out there from outside the panels.
I actually got to meet Johnny for the first time last year at that show, and it was really great to get a chance to. meet his wife as well and chat and catch up. And then in December, I'll be at GalaxyCon Columbus in Ohio for the first time. So we've got a travel-packed end of 2024 to spread the good word on Rise and all these other beautiful projects that I've had the privilege of making with some of the best artists in comics.
Brother, I love seeing how you keep hustling and doing the thing. You saw that list. I see so many indie creators talk their game about how they feel about comics. But again, if you want to get your project out there, get yourself noticed, and get that work noticed. Trevor, I think, is a wonderful, wonderful example of that, bro. I salute you, kiddo, for buzzing the way you do, bro.
I appreciate you.
I dig that. All right, man. So you know what it is. All the links are below. Again, I'm saying one more time, you can check out everything Trevor and Pocket Watch Press via his link tree. Right, Pocket Watch Press. The links are below. But again, it's this project we're concerned about. We have 28 days to go. We're already at well over the halfway point, which is great. But we want to hit more. Let's hit like 25 racks. All right, let's manifest that. We got a rack a day. Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's make it happen. This is what it is. It's independent comics. Support my big homie here with the longest name in comics, Trevor M. Fernandes-Lenkiewicz. Omega. This is the Comic Crusaders podcast. Thank you, Crusaders, for tuning in. I appreciate the support. You guys rock. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Wepa!
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.